Mark's one of them. He had a tremendous season as a rookie and jumped right in, played in all kinds of situations and played good hard minutes. He was our all-star representative and just a tremendous player. But there's others you look up front, guys that have made big jumps and gains in their seasons. Morgan Klimchuk is one that from a point total, but his overall play as well. Andrew Mangiapane, fantastic rookie season as well, and a number of others up front that continue to push their game. Like I said at the start, we had tremendous development from our players, and we think our coaches did a really good job.
The last time you had two rookies in the Calgary top affiliate to score 20-plus goals was Chuck Kobasu and Matthew Lombardi. Well, that was replicated this year with Mark Jankowski and with Andrew Mangiapane. I mean, those are two guys that have played a lot of time in the National Hockey League. These now two players that are doing this, they seem like they're right on the right path, I guess.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, you can measure success by points. There's no question in some ways, but I think their overall play in both ends of the rink is something that they had a lot of trust of the coaches. But today, to be able to score in this league, it's a difficult league to put up points, and when you're playing less games as well, it's a tremendous feat. So we're extremely happy with their production this year, and now the message is they have to have real big summers, and whatever they did last year just wasn't good enough in the way of training, and you got to keep pushing and keep pushing the envelope, and that's what our message was to those guys.
Coach Huska mentioned a lot about culture, about how the culture seemed to change over the course of the year. And when you look at that, I mean, it's easy to see the veteran leadership in that dressing room assembled by you guys. Lyndon Vey being one of those top guys. You got Matt Fratton, Mike Angelidis, a terrific captain, and someone like Brandon Bullock who comes down here and serves a real big purpose for you guys. Did it look like your veteran group that you had established here in Stockton was one of the big contributors as to why the young guys were able to come around so quickly?
I mean, organizationally, culture is established through Brian Burke and Brad Treleving and others, and as Craig and myself as part of the management group. So, we think that the culture is defined right from organizationally through Calgary and into Stockton. But yeah, there's no question that here in Stockton we had a really young team. I think for most of the season we're probably the second youngest team in the American League, top to bottom. So we knew it was important to bring in some solid veteran leadership that could help our young players in different situations, both on and off the ice. And we felt that the players that were here and a guy like Mike Angelidis was the captain did a tremendous job. He was a tremendous leader, and that's what his DNA has been throughout his career, and he showed that, and others. We just felt we had a good group, and not just the veteran guys, but all the players on our roster. We thought it was a real good team.
The goaltending obviously was a strength from day one all the way through Game 5, and it really was a strength in Game 5, stopping 52 shots. But you see John Gillies get an opportunity and play really well in his NHL debut. David Rittich did the exact same thing in the final game of the season in San Jose against the Sharks. Was it kind of, I don't necessarily want to say the word surprising, but did you expect to have such good goaltending all season long with that pair?
We did actually. We had high expectations for both of those goalies, and we had Thomas McCollum in the mix as well, who didn't get a great opportunity here, but we knew he was a tremendous goalie, and when we loaned him to Charlotte, he proved that. So, no, our expectations were high on our goaltenders. We felt that both John and David, had very good seasons, and kept us in games and helped win us some games, especially down the stretch when we needed some wins, and they both had the opportunity to spend a short period of time in Calgary and get a feel of what the NHL is, and I think that's just going to drive them more as individuals over the summertime and be even more ready for the start of the season.
Well, you had an opportunity to watch a couple of the young players that'll probably, will be back in juniors next year. Matthew Phillips, Dylan Dubé, they come and get a couple games in Dubé the last game. These young guys, is it important to give them a little bit of a taste on what the pro game is and kind of establish, especially, someone especially like Dylan who's signed to a Calgary contract already, that this is how the pro game works. This is what's different about the pro game than the junior game.
For sure. I think it's important. We brought Mark Jankowski down last year. We also brought in Josh Healy this year after signing him after his college, and to give them a taste. And I think it's important for the junior guys as well. You're right. It's going to be a year or two until we see them, but it gives them the opportunity to know the organization better, and for us to even to get to know them a little bit. They can meet with our strength and conditioning coach. They can meet with our coaches, help develop them. This is development time for them. Really set up their summer planning and their summer training, and so it's time well spent to have them here, and for them to get a little bit of taste of action as well, and have a comfort level of what the American League's all about. It's really important.
And what's the summer plan for you guys now going forward? There's obviously some jobs open up in Calgary, some jobs that need to be filled here in Stockton, and even at the ECHL level. What's going to be the process going through, and what fans can start to kind of put on their calendars? Hey, signings could happen at this date or around this time.
Yeah, for both in Calgary and Stockton, it's you're into your planning stage. It's we have the expansion draft coming up. We'll have our pro and amateur meetings over the next few weeks, and through our pro meetings, we'll establish what holes we have to fill, and what changes might be made, whether it's here or Calgary on our rosters. But talk to our pro scouts, build lists, and then at the appropriate time reach out to the agents and set a plan in place for summer signings. But I think traditionally everything will take place early July, and then throughout the summer, and as you start rounding out your rosters. But I think we have so many great prospects here in Stockton. I think a lot of them are going to be pushing for spots in Calgary, and I think that's going to be a tremendous thing for Stockton Heat fans, is to hopefully see more and more players playing through the system and playing up in Calgary.
Well, the Stockton Heat fans, they came to play this year. They were very passionate about the playoff run that you guys were able to go. We got our first sellout in team history. We had a great team on the ice to watch. Was it, all things considered, a pretty successful season for the Stockton faithful?
Yeah, I believe so. We really look at this as from a development standpoint of, hey, we're producing players for the NHL. They're getting better every day that they're on the ice. And we feel that we accomplished that, and we feel that the players took a really good turn for the better, and I think that the fans saw the product on the ice of players just increasing their game and going to a new level. Every game that they came to see, and I think that's important for the fans, and then for the players as individuals.